Hi, guys.
Hey!
Welcome to Barclay Talks, our morning talk show here at Barclay. And as some of you already know, this is the talk show where we bring past Barclay alumni, Barclay staff members, Barclay performers, and this is where we talk to them. See what they've been up to in life, get their perspective on their time at Barclay, and all the crazy fun antics that they can talk about. And this is just a really nice show that we're using to drum up, some exposure and things like that for Barclay turning 5 in January.
Woo!
Miss Michaela, can you believe that? 5 years Barclay strong. That's amazing. Obviously, again, we're your hosts, Mr. Jason, if you didn't already know, and Miss Michaela. We hold down the Broadway babies, Princess and Pals, and musical theater 1 classes. So if you have any students or friends with children who would like to learn some musical theater, and be entertained by a dazzling princess and her puppet assistant, by all means, please come and join us. We would love to have you. Miss Michaela, talk to me. How's your day?
My day's no complaints. My day's been pretty smooth.
Beautiful.
How's your day been so far?
Good. If I was to say anything, it's smooth, just like butter. You know what I mean? I had butter on my toast, and it was delicious. Shout out to all the people who eat their toast with butter.
I actually don't eat toast with butter.
Oh my gosh! I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. That's why I'm so like amazed by it. It's so beautiful. So guys, today, what we're going to talk about, or our special guest that we have, is two lovely gentlemen who were with us during ragtime and were set to perform in Lacage, and these two jumped on the Barclay train, just like all performers do, just like Miss Michaela, and they got on, strapped in, and just enjoyed the ride. Again, these two performers are phenomenal performers, and also phenomenal people. I really can't wait for you to meet them. And we'll bring them in a little later. Miss Michaela, let's talk a little bit about some of the plans. Maybe we can give a little teaser to the audience about what we're gonna do in like October. That little spooky thing we talked about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know how much I can give away, but stay tuned because October 31st, which is Halloween, is coming up soon, and we might have some spooky event with a little bit of magic sprinkled in there as well, coming up on Halloween. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited to share that. I don't know how much I can give away.
I think you said just enough.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
You definitely covered it. So guys, October 31st, we have a nice little surprise for you. Be on the lookout. Keep watching us on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. You'll see a lot of what we got planned coming up. And again, this is for the community. This is for you guys. We know it's been a weird couple of months, and we wanna help you guys get it unweird by getting a little spooky. Miss Michaela, before we bring in our friends, and we also talk about that thing we do on Wednesdays from 12:30 to 1:30.
Yes, we can talk about the thing that we do on Wednesdays. So we've started this little performance block party, Barclay's block party. And basically, I will be hosting it and singing a bunch of tunes. Each week is going to be a different theme. This last week was just general hits, things that everyone can sing along to. And
Don't stop believing.
Yep. And we're going to have guests as well. Maybe Mr. Jason can sing a couple of tunes. Maybe Miss Amanda in the front desk, who's so talented, can sing a couple of tunes. And maybe a couple of Barclay alum are going to be stopping on by, and we're going to be having some vendors as well joining us in the coming weeks, and we hope to grow and grow and grow so that we can be a big block party. So yeah, if you ever just want to be serenaded by the BARCLAY family, and enjoy some crafts for the little ones, or I mean even the big ones, like I would like to do a craft, and enjoy some tasty food maybe along the line, then yeah, join us here from 12:30 to 1:30 every Wednesday.
Yeah, guys, come out and support. Obviously, we'll be social distancing. We'll be in our face shields and face masks, so everyone is safe. Hand sanitizing, all that jazz, making sure everybody stays safe.
Of course.
But again, trying to bring back the live performance, trying to make sure that theater stays alive is the ultimate goal. And again, if we can have you guys, stop by even for a little bit, wave, say hi. We had a nice turnout this Wednesday, and again, like Miss Michaela said, we just want to keep growing and growing and growing and going, going and going. Yeah, just like the Energizer Bunny. So with all that said, Miss Michaela, I think the audience is like tired of us. They're not tired of us, but
how could they be tired of us?
I think they're ready. They've waited on bated breath for our guest. And what I'll do is, I think, guys, like I said, these two gentlemen are a important part of BARCLAY. That's why they're on the show, of course. And we love having them when they're around. So, guys, everyone out there, welcome Mr. Richard Weinstock and Todd Engelman.
Woo!
Yay!
There we go. Richard, Todd, nice to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How are you guys?
I am good.
Beautiful.
I've never been referred to as a lovely person, so that was very nice.
Richard, you are one of the loveliest. Todd, you're not a piece of chopped liver, I'm telling you. You are also one of the loveliest. You two are the loveliest. Guys, it is great to have you guys. It's been such a long time, or what feels like such a long time, since we were able to like sit down and talk and even just chat, And obviously, you guys get to meet Miss Michaela here, who is a new BARCLAY staff member. Well, I guess you're not new now. It's like,
whoa, that's bananas.
3 months maybe, but
oh my goodness.
Definitely, the show is for her, not only to meet these amazing past people, our past staff members and performers, but also, again, it gives us a chance to talk to you guys, check in with you guys, see how you've been, and things like that. So, Rich, you wanna start us off? How you been? What have you been up to? That kind of stuff.
Well, unfortunately, I am now a member of the unemployed world. My employer used my salary for payroll for other positions at the agency that I was working for over 10 years. Okay. So it's been very hard. I have been extra careful about my health. So because I am towards the upper demographic. So, I've been quarantined a lot, and I don't really go out into the real world a lot. And so it's been a struggle. It's been an interesting time. I try to keep singing and doing creative things to keep, myself positive.
Beautiful.
And looking to the future. And so it's been a quiet time.
Nice. Very nice. Let me throw it to Todd. Todd, how have you been? How have you been since all of this craziness?
I think mine's been completely the opposite end of the spectrum, where I have been nonstop because I work in pharmaceutical. So there's a huge push right now for the vaccine, for treatment of the COVID. So it's exciting. It's nice. It's a lot of work because we're doing 10 to 12 hour days, lately, and it's the race to get the vaccine to the market as soon as possible, so that we can kind of start bringing some normalcy back to the world. So it's been good, but it's been extremely busy on my end. So I welcome the opportunities to sing, and that's the way I kind of break away from constantly being engrossed and talking about and being in the whole COVID world, because eventually we all have to find the new normal. We have to really get to that place.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it so interesting that we're all affected by the same thing, but it affects us in different ways, And like Richard said, it's been a quiet time for him. He's had a lot of time to be able to sing and focus on himself and continue to look towards the future and see what the next step is. And Todd is in the same boat. It's not as quiet, but he's looking towards the future, trying to help us get to that next place where we can bring some sort of like structure and normalcy back to our lives and the community.
I would love to know, as a theater person, as a performer, we don't really branch out into many different other job markets. I guess as a person who's just graduated in music theater, so I would love to hear more about exactly what you're doing in pharmaceuticals, Todd. If you wouldn't mind explaining some of it.
Sure. I started in the industry by like monitoring, which is kind of like auditing the trials. So I would go to the hospitals, review all the medical records, make sure that they're consistent with what they're putting into the system, and make sure it matches the data they're entering. I would count the pills. Now I manage 17 people who do that, and it's great because with so many people, when you're assigned to study, you get one study. You really put your heart and soul in that one study. I've got 17 people, so I see 5 to 6 different vaccine studies going on at a time, 3 different treatment studies going on at the same time. So I manage people that go in and make sure that the studies are being run safely.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's super interesting. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you for what you're doing. Obviously, I don't think the world can say that enough.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, Todd, since we're on you, how did being in pharmaceutical land, how did you find BARCLAY? What brought you to us?
It's a great question, and then I want to thank the other gentleman on the phone, because Richard and I had done. Yep, that would be the one. Richard and I had done theater back in the Philadelphia area, and just really enjoyed it. We did Beauty and the Beast was our first show together. I played Lumiere, and Richard played the Beast. Had a blast. It was a wonderful show, and really started a really nice relationship with Richard. Unbeknownst to my knowledge, about I guess 10 years after Beauty and the Beast, I decided to move down to Fort Lauderdale, and as fate has it, Richard was already down in Fort Lauderdale. So, we reconnected down here, and we were just going to the shows, and we were just talking about the shows, and Richard was he was auditioning and everything else, and he gave me a really good nudge and said, "What are you doing? Why don't you, because theater's a little challenging in South Florida. If you don't have daytime availability, and there's just a lot of different quirks to the theaters down here." So Richard said, "Come on, it's great experience. It looks like a great group to do it. Why don't you just come and audition?" So 2 nights before, I worked on my monologue, I worked on my song, and I came to the audition, and the rest is history.
Beautiful. And before I throw it to you, Richard, let me just let the audience know we have like a little thunderstorm above us. I can hear the lightning cracking like popcorn. So if for whatever reason we get disconnected, guys, don't worry. We'll if we don't pick it back up right away, we'll definitely see you guys next week. But again, as with all Florida weather that is unpredictable, we'll just stay predictable. So Richard, talk to me. How did you get in touch with BARCLAY? How did you find them? Where did you come from?
That's a good question. So I am friendly with the Caskey family. Cameron Caskey from Parkland was involved with Spring Awakenings, and his dad, Jeff Caskey, was a camper of mine when I was a counselor in my youth at overnight camp in Pennsylvania.
Gotcha.
And so when I moved down to Florida, I had like extended family that was kind of like, extended friends that became my family down here. And Jeff was one of them. And so I've seen Cameron from time to time growing up and stuff like that. And obviously the shooting was Parkland was a year before ragtime, like the spring before ragtime. So if anyone is familiar with, and obviously Cameron has become a youth advocate for gun rights and youth voting rights and stuff like that. So anyway, there is a YouTube sensation by the name of Randy Rainbow who does political satire. He rewrites the lyrics to Broadway musical songs to the political landscape and broadcasts them on YouTube. And it's really a release. It's funny if you're frustrated about the current situation and all the dysfunction going on in politics and the government. It's a nice release. So he's become a little bit of a national sensation from his YouTube performances, and he took his show on the road. And he was performing at the BARCLAY Playhouse in Fort Lauderdale for one night or two nights. And Jeff Caskey bought 35 tickets for Parkland families, and students and family and friends. And apparently Randy Rainbow is from the South Florida area, and his mom still lives down here. So Jeff arranged a meet and greet backstage at the BARCLAY Playhouse after the Randy Rainbow show with Randy. So we're all waiting back in the dressing room, waiting, in the big green room or whatever, waiting for Randy to come back. And Cameron and I just started talking. And I was working full time, so I could only moonlight theater, audition for groups that rehearse in the evening and perform on the weekends and stuff like that. And I told Cameron, I've had auditions, but I've had a dry spell for maybe, 3 or 4 months. And I researched as I could, and he goes, you should try BARCLAY, where I just did Spring Awakenings. And I'm like, I am not familiar with them. And he gave me the website, and he said they're getting into more adult shows. So I checked it out. I went to the website the next day, and I still couldn't figure it out. I didn't know whether BARCLAY was a theater school, or a community theater, or a professional theater. I was very confused. So I sent Christine Barclay an email asking a lot of questions, and she sent me back a very detailed email thanking me for contacting her, and explaining the situation. So I looked at the season, and I saw they were auditioning for a little night music and ragtime, and I'm like, 2 shows that I really like and that there are appropriate roles for me. So that's when I said, Todd, come on, let's go check it out. And we went up and auditioned, and I was cast as Tata, Todd was cast as father, and we had a good production, a good mixed student adult production of ragtime in a black box setting, which I thought was impossible, but managed.
Are they doing the impossible? Just so you guys can see this. Richard Prada, yes, sir.
Hi, Richard.
They are, again, they are phenomenal performers. And yes, you guys do look great. The quarantine has been really nice to you guys. Let me ask this. What is an interesting fact that many people don't know about? Richard, you want to give us?
So, growing up in Philadelphia, right after college, I went to college at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. Right after college, I decided that I wanted to pursue theater full time, and I really wanted to give it a shot. And I figured if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it up. And I went right to New York City.
Right.
And because if I'm 22, 23 years old, better to find if it's right for me, if I like it, if it's working out in my 20s, then wait to my 30s or 40s and look back on my life with regret and then try to do it differently. So I went. There's actually an actors strike in Atlanta this summer after I graduated. The Actors Equity went on strike. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be sitting in Atlanta, I might as well go up to New York City. So I did. I had a friend who had a room, and I went up, so I started auditioning, and at the time, you have to put your headshot together, and you have to do mass mailings. There was no internet back then. So the drama bookshop had all the 200 stickers, and there was a book called the Ross Reports. And in the Ross Reports were all the casting directors, advertising agencies, everyone who needed that headshot and resume in order to bring you into their office and cast you. So it's expensive to get all that done, but I'm like, I got to invest in it. So I mailed everything out. It took me a week to put it in all the 8x10 envelopes and label them and whatever. I had an answering service because there were no cell phones back then. And I got a call on my answering service that a woman by the name of Mindy Steinman called. And I went to high school with Mindy Steinman. And I'm like, how did Mindy Steinman find out that I was in New York City? Why would she care if I was in New York City? Anyway, so I called the number, and the person on the other side of the phone answered and said, "Hello, Ryan's Hope. Can I help you?" Now, Ryan's Hope was a very popular ABC soap opera at the time. It was a half-hour soap opera at the time. And I'm like, Ryan's Hope? I said, is Mindy Steinman there? And they said, hold on. And they put Mindy on. And Mindy goes, hi, Richard, it's Mindy. And I'm like, Mindy, what are you doing at Ryan's Hope? She goes, I'm a production assistant. I opened your headshot.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God. Well, to make a long story short, I ended up working a lot on Ryan's Hope, which led me to work on Another World, which led me to work on was it One Life to Live?
Oh, yeah.
The soap operas that were in New York City.
Right. Wow.
And so it was nice income. It was like under 5 lines in extra work, but it was stuff that I could put on my resume. And now, the soap opera genre is pretty much decimated now. But back in the day, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got my SAG, my Screen Actors Guild, and my AFTRA card as a result of being on the soap operas, and it was nice income. And I actually befriended a lot of the folks at Ryan's Hope. They invited me to 2 Christmas parties. When they went to see Simon and Garfunkel in Central Park, they invited me to sit in their little enclave. So it was nice. It was like, okay.
Beautiful. Wow.
As people don't know.
That's definitely a testament to putting in the groundwork. Like you said, you got to do all of the hard stuff, and what people don't really realize goes into theater and film at this point. And again, putting in that work, making those connections, and being able to take the opportunities when they present themselves. So I never knew that. That's actually really cool. Awesome.
Thank you, Mindy Simon.
God, let me talk to you.
Were soap operas in black and white, Richard?
Thank you, Todd. Yeah, there were no remotes. You had to go up to the TV and turn the channel.
Yeah, the knob, turn the dial. I hear about that. Yeah.
Todd, let me ask you, what's something interesting? Were you on Ryan's Hope as well?
Unfortunately, that was a little before my time. So I am not. Mine's not quite as exciting, but I am a twin. So there are 2 of me.
Really?
That is true. His name is Scott Engelman, married with 2 kids. He's living in the Pennsylvania area. He also sings, but a little differently. He's more rock, guitar, that kind of thing. And I've always wanted to do a show with him. I've always tried to talk to him in the show, and it's never happened. So if Barclay ever decides to do Blood Brothers, maybe I'll talk him into coming down for a little spring break.
Well, as you talk about Barclay and doing Blood Brothers, I have this nice comment here just for you guys.
Oh, thanks, Christine.
Yeah, that's awesome. So a family of performers. We get that a lot here, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
Shout out to all the families of performers.
Yeah, I have two sisters, and they're also twins. And they also they play instruments and paint and sing, and I too get like a musical performance.
Oh, awesome! I'm definitely enjoying catching up with you guys. This is like there's so many things I didn't even know I didn't know about you guys, and obviously doing ragtime with you. You know, we played pretty close together and became a really nice family. What you guys, I guess, an interesting fact about me that I can share is that I was having trouble being not being Cole House, but this one part in Cole House and singing. And Todd and Richard actually like invited me down to Fort Lauderdale and was like, "Listen, man, let's help you. Let's help you. You know, get this under your belt." And like, I can't thank you guys enough. That night definitely changed how I approached the music and the material. Excuse me. And it was beautiful.
By the way, it's a picture of me and Cameron. That was backstage waiting for Randy Rainbow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Where it all began.
What year was that?
What was that?
What year was that?
That was 2 years ago.
Shout out to Cameron Cassidy. Very, 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 a very loved BARCLAY student, and definitely someone we enjoy having around. Hopefully, we get to see him when he stops by. But thank you for all the really good out there, buddy. This is for you. So guys, let's transition a little bit into your time at BARCLAY. Let's talk about you know, I know Richard, you were Tata in Ragtime, and you were going to be you are going to be, because we still plan on producing it and putting it up. Alban in Todd, and Todd, you were the father in Ragtime, and you are going to be George in Makaj. So let's just talk a little bit about your time here, and you know, what that means to you. Like Richard, I'll start with you. Why is Alban a dream role? Like why is that such a big role?
Oh, I mean, it's such a multi-dimensional character, and the songs are amazing, and the comedy involved. You know, it's as the older that I get, the more I appreciate more of the lyrical traditional musicals where you actually walk away from the show singing the tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can actually walk out the doors of the theater, get into the car, and remember the music. It's, you know, it's, and Jerry Herman just wrote a brilliant, you know, score. And Harvey Firestein wrote a great script based on a movie. It was a French movie, La Cage aux Folles, which I had seen in my youth. And it won the Tony Award up against some stiff competition, including, I forget what Stephen Sondheim musical the same year. And Jerry Herman won over Stephen Sondheim.
Wow.
So there's something to be said about a traditional musical with it's a love story. It's a non-conforming, unusual love story at the time between two men who have made a commitment together, even though they're not legally married. In their minds, they've been together for 20 years. I forget in the script what they reference, how long they've been together. But it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And so it's in my voice range. It allows me the characters, you know, playing Alban, and then transitioning to Zaza, a woman, you know, a trans woman. It's a dream role. I mean, who wouldn't? What role? You know, what person wouldn't have that as a dream role?
Yeah, I gotta be honest, Richard. Whenever you like touch the stage in our rehearsals, I was like, this man was this man is made for the role.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thank you. By the way, I am not a cross-dresser.
So he says. So he says.
But I should. The one other thing that you probably don't know about me, for some reason I can't get this on, is that one of my good friends in the world, even though now that he's a big star, is Billy Porter from Pose.
Oh yeah.
So so I'm thrilled.
Over?
Yeah, we've known each other over 15 years. But now that he's a big star, I don't hear from him very much.
That's a big. That. Oh my God! You were just like my good friend Billy.
I'm chopped liver. So,
No.
but anyway, yeah. So Billy has done so much for the trans community through Pose. I did bring some of this down so that.
You look fabulous, darling.
Wait.
It's only an hour show, Richard.
Man. Yes. All right.
Beautiful.
That's a nice wig.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Darlings.
Yes.
See, I can't. If I could get the eyelashes on,
Wow.
I couldn't do any of that.
Oh
You
wow.
styled that wig. That wig looks good.
Thank you, darling.
It's all. I think it's all Richard, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Richard, you styled that wig. That looks amazing.
Yeah, I have 4 wigs. I have a pink wig, an orange wig, a blonde wig, and a brunette wig up in and all these outfits that I've been collecting for this role. So we're all ready to go. I just have to relearn my lines. But yeah, so you like this?
I love
That's beautiful. I love it.
All right, I'm taking too much time. Talk to Todd. Ask him a
That
question.
was amazing. Thank you, Zaza, for stopping by. I did not have this on my sheet. Yes, Todd. Talk to me. Why is George a big role, a dream role for you?
Well, it's funny because going into it, it was really funny that I wasn't really familiar with the show, and Richard's like, "It's the Birdcage," and I'm like, "Oh, I know that show." So I didn't know much about it, but I listened to it, and my background's really heavy in music, and what really just stood out to me in the show was just how beautiful the melodies were and how poignant not only the songs were, but if you really read into the songs, really there's some really great messages in them. And George, especially, like one thing I love, like Richard, is that old classic style of singing where it's just rich and it's you're emoting the story through sound. And George, A Song in the Sand is the one that really stood out because I didn't realize, and it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful song, and it's romantic, and it says so much through a story, and it's a great show. And then when I got into the show, what I really appreciated about the show more than anything was the messaging in the show. And I Am What I Am is one of Richard's song. And, for me, it took me quite a few years to get comfortable in my own skin and to be who I am. And that song right there, it just drives home so much about the importance of really, being who you are and being happy with who you are. And it's another great song. So a lot of great messaging in the show, and the music I adore. So those are the 2 big reasons why I really was excited to get on board for it.
Beautiful. And again, seeing both of you together on the stage, it was like, I was like, Christine does it again. She just knows where these people are supposed to go. She just knows who's supposed to be who, and like you guys really do play well off each other together. Like the chemistry was natural from day one, and I'm sure that's a testament to the long-standing friendship you guys have. And it's just always a pleasure. Like being the stage manager slash semi in the show, stage manager of the club and everything in the show. It was just beautiful, like being able to watch you guys work. Tell me, Michaela, when we get La Caja, you have got to be front row.
I need
You
to
don't want to
see
miss it.
Jason, you just like the croissant scene. That's
I did. But there's a French bakery that, like, I'm gonna get you that croissant, and it's gonna be.
Oh, you're still on about the croissants?
You never forget the croissant. Let me ask you, Paul, since we're with you, how do you find any similarities between George and Father from Ragtime? Do you find any differences? Is there anything interesting between those playing those two characters that you found?
It's an interesting question. I didn't really think about that. Vocally, yes, but character-wise, absolutely not. Father was a very different. He was almost, I don't know, more of an antagonist character, where George is more of a supportive character. So I think it's a lot different than they're both pretty much, I think, opposite ends of the spectrum. Father tried to be caring, but I don't think he knew how to be caring, where George knows how to be caring, but is constantly getting resistance from, what was your character's name? Zaza.
Yes, definitely. I find it interesting that you say that, because there is that, like Father was very hard set in his ways, wasn't trying to, allow new things in. That song, New Music from Ragtime, which I listened to Cole House's numbers, and when I heard New Music, I was like, this is beautiful. This is an anthem. He doesn't allow new things in, but George, it's kind of the same. He's like resisting until, what's the harm? Let me embrace what it is, and I think that's really beautiful, is that he's able to morph and change towards the end.
Great point, Jason. I didn't think about that before.
I love that. Those two differences, you know what I mean? Just looking back on it and being able to connect those two shows in that way, Richard, let me ask you, obviously there's a big difference, but what's the difference between, or any similarities you might have found between Alban and Tata from that?
So I think what is similar is the approach that I have to take as an actor to do the research and to create the character. As far as similarities between them, there really aren't any, except for the love that the characters have for their family. But I think from an actor standpoint, when I was cast as Tata, the first thing I did was research the accent. So, because he's from Latvia, he has to talk like this, and, he has to sing like this, and, you have to make it realistic, so it's like, so I actually, learning the lines, and learning the songs, I actually just started learning with the accent. It's like I needed to make it like second nature. Yeah. I didn't learn it in standard English and then transfer it over. So that was really important. And that's what I've done with any dialects that I've done. Like I actually did, I do a British dialect pretty well. And I did a production of Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, which is an old Anthony Lee, Leslie Brickus musical. And I did Little Chap. And actually, I had people in the audience, the director of the show said that people in the audience said, "Oh, you found a Brit to play it." They really thought I was a Brit. And so, again, approaching it as Alban or Zaza, it's, the mannerisms, the characteristics, incorporating it as early on as possible, learning the lines, getting off book, learning the songs, so that it can all marinate in you, and it gives you the time to be able to portray it comfortably and effectively to the audience, rather than scrambling at the end because you don't have all the pieces together. The earlier I, as an actor, Now, not everyone works that way, and that's fine. But for me, I need to get that done so that it can become second nature, and I can really, do the job that I need to do to realistically create the role.
That's awesome. I mean, I know for myself, as an actress as well, finding the physicality and the voice early on in those stages is such great advice, especially to any of the young actors or actresses who might be watching right now. And I don't have a good segue to my next question, but
Before you ask that, Ms. Michaela, let me share a couple of these comments. Richard, this one's specifically for you.
All right, Christine, the wigs are upstairs. They're all ready.
And obviously, this goes to both of you. Christine, with all of the love this morning. Beautiful, beautiful. And Miss Michaela, I have a special one for you.
Oh, hey! Hi!
So go ahead. You had a question, I believe, right?
Yes, I do have a question. I don't really know how to segue this, but it's a question that I actually I'm very curious to know what y'all think about this. But so why are both these shows, Ragtime and Lacage, so important in this climate that we're now in?
Todd, you wanna give us your input?
Yeah, it's a good question, especially. I mean, it's been the last few months we've seen a lot of actions that are not humanitarian, a lot of actions that cause conflict, and and the response has been that which also kind of creates more conflict. So Ragtime, the same thing was going on. There was a lot of unfairness going along. There was a lot of inequality going on. And, I think the most important thing is just, really continuing to fight for that equality, fight for that sameness, fight for that leveling or plateauing of everything, because it really, we're all different. We all come from different areas, different walks of life, but it's really finding those commonalities that brings us together and creates community. So, and there were moments in Ragtime where you saw that. Early in the Industrial Revolution, when immigrants were coming in, there was the same kind of the opposition that we face today, and it's really a matter of how we deal with it and how we. You can't not acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it, and then you have to look at it, examine it, and learn from it. And they're tough topics. They're really tough topics considering the climate that we already are in right now. You add that extra level and everyone's anxiety on all these other things, and then you bring in some events that happen that really could incite anger and could incite violence. And it's really changing your mindset and trying to figure out how you can work through and move forward in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, art, I think, has always been like a game changer throughout the century. And, I feel like the messages of Ragtime and the messages of Lacage are more important now than ever, because, under the current political atmosphere, everything is divisive. Sometimes I feel like everyone hates everybody. And I hope, my biggest fear is that, certain books and certain movies or certain musicals or plays won't be permitted to be performed. And that's a frightening thought. So, the important thing of both of the shows is that underlying everything, at the base of everything, is we're all alike. And this country was founded on equality for everybody. And change is hard, and acceptance is hard. And so that's where we are. That's the struggle right now. So that's why I think that when Lacage is produced, it'll be more important than ever. And it'd be more important forever for an audience to go in and have a good time and laugh and cry and leave feeling good. Because I don't know about you all, but you know, I'm not feeling great a lot of the time. So so hopefully we can get this done sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, this is Todd. I just had one more thing to add on to Richard's last statement, because it was a great piece. And, you know, I think through theater, through movies, through the things, sometimes we gain an understanding, which I think is what we really all need right now, is to really be able to put ourselves in the shoes of other people and to try and understand what they're going through, what they've been through, and how how their, you know, their decisions and their actions are kind of a reflection of that. And I think we all, you know, we all need to, you know, get that general understanding, and that, you know, that's the only way we can care and really care as much as we should for some of these sensitive topics. And I just wanted to, that's all I have to add.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I also should say, I don't think, and that's a great point, Todd, and I don't think these topics in 2020 should be controversial or sensitive. I mean, this is 2020. I mean, you know, we've been to this rodeo so many times that it's so frustrating.
Same topics that we dealt with at the beginning of the country in ragtime. Different ways, but same topics.
Yeah. No, I really love what you guys are saying. Where, you know, at the base level, we're all humans. We're all trying to kind of basically survive, understand life, enjoy life, and there's these weird, like Todd said earlier, you know, there's like this weird inequality and injustice that continues to happen for whatever reason, as we all know, and it's just baffling. It's confusing. It's like, you know, when does this thing happen? Where, you know, who those in power or whatever the case may be, are they going to do anything about it? You know, and as Richard said, you know, the beautiful thing is, and I think what we all can agree on is that theater and like you said, books and movies and things like that open up the conversation to be had and open it to people who probably, you know, wouldn't want to talk about it, or, you know, don't want to look at these sensitive topics, even though, like Richard said again, you know, it is 2020. How can we not have a conversation? You know, like, let's talk, let's find some common ground, let's find the leveling. But again, for whatever reason, it's just more difficult than it really seems it should be.
Right, and I think, you know, theater and music and art in general helps people talk about heavy topics, because, you know, you're singing and dancing, and so it's easy to convey those messages, those really, really heavy messages, and important messages, while, you know, singing and dancing. It kind of, you know, eases the audience and makes them, you know, not entirely realize how heavy these messages are, because, you know, we are singing and dancing. It's kind of like you know, the show Next to Normal as well. It's like a pop rock opera basically, and but it's dealing with these, you know, mental health issues, and you know, these shows like Lacage and Ragtime, it's like they do have these hard to talk about topics. I mean, they shouldn't be hard to talk about, like you said, but, you know, for people who it is hard to talk about, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it brings it to the table. You can have a discussion after the show at dinner. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely again glad that, you know, you guys are able to take on those big mantles as father and Tata, and of course Alban and George. And again, you know, my friends, the audience out there listening, I want you guys to know that we're still in the process of getting Lacage up. If you were in the Lacage cast, shout out to the Lacage cast. Just know that we will be contacting you soon. Again, it's just the state of the world and what we got to deal with right now. But yes, absolutely. These shows are important. Theater in general is important, and I'm glad that our friends here, Richard and Todd, and obviously everyone else who is around the world at this point is fighting to keep the art alive, fighting to keep theater alive, and just pushing to see the end of this weird tunnel we're in. Um, with all that said, I know we just talked about some heavy subjects. Let me ask you guys this, Richard, why do you keep coming back to Barclay? What about Barclay? Again, as we gear up for this 5-year anniversary and this big birthday, I gotta ask, why do you keep coming back?
Well, I think, the Barclay staff and Christine and, they're very supportive of the artists. So, so it feels very safe. It feels like I'm appreciated and wanted, which is nice. I think Christine has, you're still relatively new, and I think Christine has an amazing vision. So for me personally, I want to be part of that vision, because as Barclay grows and becomes even more professional, and with their future partnerships and goals and dreams and whatever, that's the direction, especially being an out of towner and coming down to Fort Lauderdale 4 years ago. And, you show up at auditions and it's like, who are you? Or it's like, oh, he's pretty okay. But these are the people that we're used to working with. So, thanks, Richard, come back next time. But Christine was just one of those directors who just embraced new people with open arms. And that meant a lot. And that, I become very, it's like a loyalty issue. Loyalty goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me, the vision, the safety net, and the loyalty are probably three of the biggest things.
Awesome. Rod, let me ask you the same question. What about Barclay keeps you coming back?
Do we have to do 3? Was 3 the rule? Because I only have 2.
I feel like there's.
I have a million. Honestly, I have a million. Like, I guess the big ones for me are, really the family aspect, and the feeling of support, the feeling of camaraderie. I can't tell you, being down here where the rest of my family is up north, that was the most important thing for me. And I didn't have a theater family yet down here. And it gives you the warm and fuzzies, and when you're having a really horrible day at work, you can escape for 3 hours on the stage. I can't tell you how important it was in the relationship that I have developed through the group and the people I have met, and them all sharing their experience and their, not criticism, but their suggestions on stage. It's wonderful because you've got a lot of really talented people, a lot of really professional people that bring a lot to the stage. And even spending as many years as I have in the theater, I still learn things every day. And that was one of the nicest things about joining the group. Like I said, I don't have 3. I had not off the top of my head. I think the other one, like I was going on the professionalism, that's kind of the other piece that is really great about Barclay is, Christine has a great vision. She has, a lot of people in place there that are really good at what they do, and also really good at sharing tips and how they do what they do. And that's how all of us learn. That's how we all grow. And, Barclay's been able to provide that for me. And I think I would be struggling down here in Florida without it. So Christine, Barclay, all, love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too, man. Again, I can't tell you guys enough what the addition that you guys add to our Barclay community. And to the shows that you're part of, and again, the pod coming up soon. You guys add a hidden element of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, dedication, talent. To say the least, or say a few of the least. You guys add something that I think Richard. I believe you said it a little bit earlier. Being able to be part of those big ragtime was a big multi-level performance. We had different kids. I think the youngest kid was about Jory was about probably 8 or 7 or something. And to be her father in the show, honestly, you guys worked closely, and you were able, all those kids in between, you guys were able to share your knowledge, your experience, your stories, and there's still times where, just so you guys know, a lot of the kids from that show always talk about, the father from Ragtime and things like that. Also, things like that. That was such a good song, things like that. So, I know that you guys probably don't get to hear it because you're not at the space, obviously. But just know that those kids definitely, like, you left the imprint on them, with them in their heart, and working with you during that process, definitely they have it, and it's with them. So again, you guys add another level to our community, and we are so grateful to have you. Definitely, definitely.
Gladly.
With all that said, with all that squishy, lovable stuff, again, you guys are amazing. I think the audience is curious to know how amazing you guys are. So I think what we have here is we have a clip of Richard from his audition reel that unfortunately in today's climate you have to send it in. There isn't really any live auditions right now, but Richard was so generous enough to share with us a little bit of his reel, so you guys can see.
Could I? Yeah, let me just say one thing about that too. I think it's important in today's climate because we still don't know when theaters are going to open up again. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to theaters now to find out the directors, the artistic directors, and see if there is an opportunity now to send them an audition video for upcoming roles or replacement roles. Because the shows that are cast now with many theater companies through 2021, you don't know whether the actors are going to be able to continue through. So what I did is, this is from a reel that I put together proactively to, just in case, I'll reach out to theaters and say, consider me if in case you need a replacement, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Richard.
So when Jason shows it, when you show it, basically, usually the theater will tell you what they require. Ballad, 13, 16 bars, 32 bars, monologue, or whatever. And these are basically two 16 to 32 bar songs ballads that I put together. And so I just did it proactively. This isn't like a reel that is just sitting there, but it was nice to put together.
Of course. Again, Richard is a big testament to just laying the groundwork and making sure, you stay proactive in the art and really pushing yourself to find that next opportunity. So with all that said, let's enjoy the performances of Mr. Richard Weinstock in a beautiful, beautiful opening. Here we are.
Today or never, I'll sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. in the darkness of the heart. Shining
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Awesome, awesome. Todd, I mean, just lovely, 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 lovely. Sorry, Richard, lovely. Todd as well, lovely. As you guys can see, those were two nice clips. And obviously Todd was a part of the ragtime clip. That was a little bit of the staging right before we started getting into costumes and things of that nature. So a nice peek at rehearsal. But again, just a beautiful, beautiful moment. So thank you, Richard. Thank you for sharing that with us. Definitely enjoyed. And Todd, I believe you have a little something for us as well. Be sure to unmute. Be sure to unmute yourself, buddy. There we go.
Okay, better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was going to say that in the hopes of one day doing Lacage, I wanted to do a quick little preview of one of my favorite songs, which was the one I was talking about that George does sing, about his love of Albin and meeting Albin. So with that being said, here is Song in the Sand from Lacage.
Take it away, good sir.
Ooh. Do you recall the little beach we walked along? That afternoon fall, that afternoon we met. A fellow with a concertina sang. What was that song? It's strange what we recall, and odd what we forget. I heard la da 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 as we walked on the sand. I heard la da da da. I believe it was early September. The crash of the waves, I could tell that the words were romantic. Something about sharing, something about always. Breezes along, I still think of that song on the sand. And I still try and search for the words I can barely remember. The time tumbles by, there is one thing that I am forever certain of. I love da 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 da. And I'm young and in love.
Todd, my friend, so beautiful. So beautiful.
One day we'll do it. Stay tuned.
Trust me when I say it is. Oh, Zaza, is that you again?
Oh, thank you, darling. I loved it. I loved it.
Wow, both George and Zaza have joined us for this stream.
We've had quite a few people here today, right, Richard?
Yes, always.
It's definitely been a pleasure. Listen, Todd and Zaza, if you can pass this message to Richard for me. It's been a great pleasure seeing both of you. And again, once this whatever it is over with, I can't wait to give you guys like a giant hug and obviously have you back in the space and stuff like that. And again, to get Lacage up and running because the world needs to see Zaza, past the screen. They need to see
Very true.
in her full glory, and obviously Todd, when you can see George in his full glory, and just again, thank you guys for everything you're doing, Todd. You know, working in the pharmaceutical companies, and doing your thing, and Richard, obviously continuing. Or sorry, Zaza, continuing to keep yourself healthy and keeping yourself safe, and you know, being ready for you know, our next performance and everything like that. Guys, I had a lot of fun. Miss Michaela, you have any final words?
Just love you
Great
guys.
meeting
Love
you
you guys.
both.
Stay positive. Stay positive. Oh, I'm talking over people, right?
No problem, no problem. I was just saying
Good.
how great it was to meet both of you and to hear your stories. It's always so nice to hear, you know, what's come before me at Barclay, because there's just so much history and so much to be learned.
Absolutely. Yeah, Todd, do you have any final words before we?
I was just gonna say, like, so great to see everyone. Just keep the flame going. Keep the fire alive. Keep doing those scales. Keep doing those warm ups, because we're gonna be on stage before you know it. And if not, we're gonna find an adaptive way to get. You know, I love seeing these drive-in movie theaters being revitalized, and you know, thinking out of the box so that we can get theater everyone, because we need that escape. We need that hope. We need just to hear those beautiful songs sometimes to get us out of that little COVID funk we might be in. So, you know, love you guys to death. Hope everyone is doing well. And like Jason, you said, I can't wait I'll give you all a big hug.
Sure. I agree, 100%. Zaza, talk to me. You have any final words before we go?
No, just keep the faith, keep doing what you're doing, plow forward, stay creative, and somewhere down the line, we'll be back.
Absolutely. And with that, everyone in Facebook, YouTube, yes, I was about to say Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, has been another segment of Barclay Talks. We were talking with Richard Weinstock, who is now in his Zaza, and Todd Engelman, who will be playing the role of George in the near future. Again, guys, such a pleasure to have you. Can't wait to see you guys on the other side. Again, we'll be back here next week, 11:30, same time, same place, with a new fresh face perspective. Yeah. So we'll see you guys later. Everybody have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one. Thanks again, guys.